Hello, my name is Ali, and I suppose this is my first vlog where I'm talking at a camera, so this is a bit new to me, but I just always wanted to do a video around this time and just talk about a couple things that's been going on. Hopefully other people are going thinking about doing something like this, and it could help them, because it would have helped me maybe a couple years ago when I was looking into it. But nevertheless, again, so a little bit about me. My name is Ali. Been last year and a half. I've been doing a master's program in business and analytics. Also, I work full time in accounting. So ideally, maybe looking back, maybe a master's in accounting would have been better. But been I just also had an interest in analytics, so I thought this was a good pivot. But I also take accounting courses just to learn a little bit more here and there, and hopefully take the CPA exams. But anyways, if you see me looking side to side, it's because I'm doing some R homework for a class that I'm finishing up. So gonna graduate in a couple weeks, hopefully. Yep, in a couple weeks. So yeah, so I suppose what I want to talk about is if you should work full time and do a master's program at the same time. So I think if you have the capacity, you should. I think you would really surprise yourself to see how much you're able to take on, and the capacity you have as a human being. Of course, there's limits, and I think you should take your breaks when you need to take your breaks. But for the most part, at least for me, I'm the type of person who wants to finish. If I can, I would take on a little bit more, just to finish a little bit earlier. So that being said, some pros. I guess a little bit about the program. It's at Sac State. It's online. It's half-time, so I think I take about 6 units per semester. So about 2 courses, and I take 1 accounting course at my local community college. But yeah, pros, it's really schedule friendly. I also work hybrid, so that helps a lot. So if you're, I know the job market isn't the best right now, but if you're able to, even if you have to take a pay cut, I recommend looking into hybrid. If you're doing a master's program or any type of program on the side, because at least in my opinion, there are some days when I have to come into the office and then I have to log back into my computer at home to get into class, and sometimes just the commute itself really bogs me down. It's pretty hard to focus, but if you're able to do that, I really recommend looking into applying to hybrid jobs if you're able to find them. That is a big caveat, of course. I was just really lucky at the time to land the current job I'm working at. But yeah, so other pros is it's a master's program, so hopefully it's beneficial on a resume, on an educational background thing. And I think especially with AI coming to the forefront, I think a lot more, I think the skills of learning, at least on a introductory level, to understand to understand what's happening in AI in that industry. So especially in accounting, as I work in accounting, I really feel like eventually we'll move to a more automated structure. So hopefully, this program, I really felt like, showed me how to transition from being a doer to a reviewer. If that makes sense. So instead of just doing these data entry or automated tasks, I'm also able to understand what's happening in the back end, and if there's something that goes wrong, I can troubleshoot it myself and and understand what's happening. Yeah, and for those for those thinking about doing a program like this, I I recommend that you give yourself a fair shot at doing it, and just apply and see where it goes from there. Drink some water. I guess some cons is, I mean, I learned a lot in this program. A lot of it really throws you in the deep end about learning Python and all that. And I highly recommend, if you never took Python, buy any introduction to Python book and just teach yourself maybe the months before you start a program like this. Because of course they'll show you, but it was really beneficial that I looked at some of the coding before they gave me assignments on it, and they showed me themselves, or professors showed me themselves. But yeah, some cons are, I kind of hope this program would go a little bit more in depth with Excel and Tableau and SQL. They did show us a lot of stuff through projects, but the main majority of the program I really feel like was on concepts and Python coding, which is very helpful. But of course with AI, like you can just generate Python code and it can review your Python code. But I think being able to know how to write it is still a useful skill. But personally for me, I would have liked a little bit more practical skills learned in the program. But I think that's pretty much it. Of course, it's a master's program, so a lot of time went into it. It's about, I log on to class twice a week, from like 6 to 9. So like, or I think it's 6 to 8:30, and then during the summer on shorter semesters, it's like 3 hours and a half, maybe, if I remember correctly. But I think teachers are really receptive to those bigger loads, and sometimes they let you out early, and sometimes they cut back on material when they know that students have a hard time grasping harder stuff, so they'll cover harder material in a longer span of time. So I really appreciated that the teacher, or that the professors recognized that, and for 9 out of 10 times professors will of course understand that we are working professionals, so they're not going to ask you to submit an assignment every single day. Of course, there are professors who do give you a little bit more workload, but I think that's just something you should. Of course, no one likes that, but it doesn't happen all the time. And that being said, I think it really steals you on doing bigger workloads. But yeah, I suppose for anyone who wants to look into this, I guess the program I did was a master's in business analytics at Sacramento State again. It's online. I don't know if it still continue to be online for the foreseeable future, but it doesn't hurt to check. And I also graduated from undergrad in UC Davis, and I know UC Davis also has a master's in business analytics, but I had a friend who took that program, and I think it was full-time, so I think it'll be pretty hard to work. But yeah, for those thinking about working full-time and doing a master's program, just gauge your schedule, amount of classes to take. So for me, again, I took 2 classes and I was able to balance it pretty well. But yeah, also just something I learned, just a tip, I wouldn't focus too much about getting straight A's. I mean, of course that's amazing, but don't forget, if you are working, a lot of your energy goes to that, and maybe you wouldn't want to like push yourself too hard to the point where it's detrimental. So sometimes it's good to, sometimes just get that B or C and move on, but also give yourself a fair chance at learning the material at a good pace. So I think learning is a little bit more important than if you actually got an A or not in the class. And of course, like at the master's level, you just have to maintain a 3.0. And I think our program allows 2 C's, so I guess use your C's wisely. But it's not that difficult. I don't think it's that difficult, especially with all the tools available to us nowadays. Also, professors are very lenient and understanding of like 9 out of 10 situations that's presented or told to them. So, and I think time flies really fast. So I started this program, I think, in 2023, and it's crazy that I'm going to graduate in about a year or in a couple weeks. So, hopefully that's still I'll still graduate by then. But yeah, I don't know what else to talk about. But if you have any questions about what it's like to work full time and do a master's program, or anything about business analytics, please comment and I'll try my best to maybe answer them in the comments, or I might make another video. Yeah, I guess some next steps for me, for anyone who's curious or thinking. But anyways, also thinking of taking the CPA exam, so also doing some courses at my community college to meet those educational requirements for those 4 exams, and hopefully I'll give it a fair shot and hopefully I can pass them. I might make a study video about that. But anyways, thanks for listening, guys, and I guess see you at the next video.